G'day everybody, John Seville from Acorn Wealth. It's your executive summary for stock setups for tomorrow, which will be the 21st of May. Quick summary, of course we went nowhere again in the S&P today, so again speculation as to where the market's going to go. From here we're still above the opening range, or just holding that since options expiration Friday's range was set, and we're still holding above the range, meaning that we're still in bullish territory. But again, we're having real trouble really kind of going anywhere. And if we have a look at the Dow Jones where are we here? Industrials. You'll see we kind of got a very similar story, just kind of diverging. One thing to take note of, though, is that the airlines did take a bit of a hit today amidst Southwest or LUV talking about their expansion of capacity, and almost all the airlines took a big dive today, as did the Dow Jones Transport. So this is looking fairly bearish, and I wouldn't be surprised on an ETF level to see this drop further. So weakness in the Dow Jones Transport. The easy money's already been made, but we could see another 100-point drop if you look at a possible extension of this head and shoulders. So you can see that there is a potential of this to kind of be forming up, which would call for a drop to the 8,300 level. It's not something I'm going to personally play, but those of you interested in those transport stocks may find that something interesting to watch. Okay, so looking into some of the stocks that we mentioned earlier, ENZ was one of the stocks we picked last night for a trade potential from 263 up to 282. We opened at 263 and traded up to 274, so halfway there. That should be interesting. You can see that moving average coming in at 285. So that 282 level, or even 281, could hit it right on the nose. Money flow is still looking strong, and again, this could be something that does end up going even higher. But that's going to be that first point that I see where it runs into some trouble because of that kind of the moving average and the trend line coinciding with each other at the same point. So I prefer to take my money, let it pull back a bit, and then enter it again if and when it rallies again through it. So that's one. Just reviewing that. The other stocks that I'm looking at, remember we're going to Memorial Weekend in the States, so there's not a... We could see some light volume, and I wouldn't be in a rush to be jumping into a lot of new positions. And I'm really looking for individual personalities that have some guts behind them. And there was the first stock that really grabbed my interest this evening was this, ISR. Now, have a look at this stock. We've been basically building for a long time with kind of reasonable volume, couple 100,000. We've got 3 million here, kind of oscillated, pulled right back, punished the shareholders, and then hit support, and then traded 1.36 million shares yesterday, and then bang, today 50.34 million. Now, there's only 50 million shares outstanding on this stock, so it traded its entire amount of shares outstanding traded today, and the stock rocketed up 93.79%. So obviously, you ask what kind of news could have fueled that kind of rally, and if you have a look, in fact, this is something that they actually announced today that they have a lung cancer treatment drug so the treatment group, which included many high-risk patients, had a 100% survival rate at the 5-year mark, and no reported noticeable side effects. So this obviously was quite an excitement-fueled rally that stemmed from $2, just under $2 today, shooting straight up to $3. But we're dealing with a 93% rally and up 11% after market, bringing it to a price of. Let's just go back to that again. Bringing us to a price here of 347. Now, I'm not usually the type of person that likes to chase trades, but this could be something that really just keeps on going. Now, something that had a similar type of report yesterday was PBMD. PBMD. So this is the similar type of thing. This was up 207% yesterday on 2.95 million shares. They reported again some very favourable results in an ovarian cancer treatment drug, and then it was up on 91 million shares today, up 270%. Now these are obviously very high risk. But potentially high return stocks, and this is something where this is going to be a potentially excellent day trading vehicle where I'm going to be watching that in the morning to try and get an entry. Now, trying to predict where we might get to be an entry is obviously difficult because we don't know what the aftermarket effects are going to be and whether we open above this range and just continue up. If we look at how PBMD performed, we came nowhere close to the previous close. We actually closed here at $1.60 and opened at $2.13. So it's going to be something where it might be just something where you just catch the open and it just goes from there. That could be the case. So we'll see how the news quickly catches fire around the rest of the market, but you can see it's trading after hours up at its peak. If you look at the 1 hour chart, there was a perfect setup at the end of the market. Had you been looking at this, we'll actually flip into the 15-minute chart to take a closer look. You can see you get that beautiful kind of flag formation right there, just straight up. Flagging, and then bang, off we go again. So, I mean, ideally, I'd love to get this anywhere between $3.20 and $3, and I'd be treating that with a stop loss below. But again, hard to predict where it's going to open in the morning. So, but this is going to be something that I'll be looking at, and I see that support around $3. And then watching it in the morning will be something that will help look for a stop loss, and depending on how quickly it's reacting, we'll try and publish an executive summary to our subscribers that are following along with this. So there it is, and TKMR. Okay, so there's TKMR. This is another one that's broken out above strong resistance. Another pharmaceutical company. So you can see that the pharmaceuticals are the ones with their own little personalities here. This could be an interesting trade if we can break above 1441, 1442. You'll see why if we go back to the hourly. So there's a strong base of consolidation, just starting to turn, and I'd be looking at this as a possible rally back up to kind of where we got this underlying resistance or support sitting around here. What we also want to see is we want to look at these candles and see where they've dropped, where the big volume has come in when we've had any kind of drop. Is there any substantial increase in volume when a particular price level was broken? We can see that one was a big increase in volume. We can see that this was a big increase in volume. So we can kind of start to look at this area as a reasonable kind of exit point. I look at a Fibonacci retracement to kind of see if we can confirm that. So there we go. That's right on the 50%. So this could be. I'll be looking at for this as a rally up to kind of that 1597 mark, 1593. So they're basically looking from 1443 to 1593 on something like that is where I'd be kind of looking for the trade. And this market's full of, I think, shortening up expectations. Rallies don't last long. So that's what we're looking for. Now, as I mentioned, if you want to be on the list to receive these live alerts tomorrow as to how we're potentially trading these and where we're getting in and out, you'll obviously want to make sure that you have registered for our 2 weeks of free trades and reports. So there's two ways to go about that. One way is to make sure you jump in
and register for my friend Pat Barham's webinar tomorrow. Pat's doing from Trade the System, and he's doing a workshop tomorrow on how to trade the holiday trade. So around news and how to kind of coordinate around that. Now, I've never traded through the holidays in terms of the news and events the way that he does, so I'll be very interested to be tuning in and listening to what he has to say. And that webinar is going on tomorrow. And all you need to do is simply go to acornwealthcorp.com/holiday, and you'll see that it'll take you straight here to this website, acornwealthcorp.com/holiday, and claim your spot. And anyone who's registered for that, this is going on tomorrow, will receive our live alerts tomorrow. And also make sure that you get on for the Big Traders Summit this Saturday, where we start to talk about how we find these types of opportunities and how we pinpoint these types of entries and exits. And that's at acornwealthcorp.com/event. And that'll be 6 hours of premium training this Saturday. So don't miss both those events. acornwealthcorp.com/holiday for the holiday trade tomorrow, and then our big event on Saturday, acornwealthcorp.com/event. And that'll get you your live alerts to make sure you're watching this stuff move. Well, we hope that helps. And of course, as always, happy trading.